Hi, we're Brenna and Jahan, and this is Estelle, and we live in the Burton Valley neighborhood of Lafayette. This home was built in 1962, and we've lived here for about 5 years. The previous owners were here for 35 years. When we were looking to move, we were primarily looking to downsize, but I had a list of what I really wanted in a home, and so we didn't have to move quickly. It took us about 2 years before we found this home, and we were just immediately, we liked it. And we're really happy that we're here. So we have a 1962 home that we really love, but we feel like there's so much that we need to do together to clean up our emissions. And the fastest place we can do this is in our own home. We can just look around, see what needs to be done, and it's still a work in progress. We still have things that we need to work on. For example, we have a gas fireplace in our bedroom that we want to take out and replace with something else. We have a hybrid car, and we hope to go 100% EV because the EVs are now able to get well over 300 miles on a charge. We have a spa, and our spa is heated by gas, and we want to figure out how to take that out and put something else in. As we've been going electric, we find that we probably are going to need more solar panels, and we want to get a battery system so that we are able to save our energy and use our own energy 100% of the time. One of the ways that we've chosen to try to avoid using air conditioning, we do have a heat pump air conditioner, but we prefer to use it as little as possible. So we put in a whole house fan a couple of years ago. The way that the whole house fan works is it's a very powerful fan. You open up the windows at night and it sucks all of the warm air out through the roof. And then in the morning you close everything up and it keeps the house cool. And you can do this same technique without a whole house fan just by opening your windows up, but a whole house fan is more powerful, makes it happen sooner, and is just a little bit more efficient.
One of the other features of the house is that it has a whole house water filter along with it. The whole house water filter removes chloramines from the water so that when you drink the water, there is none of that chlorine or other contaminants in the water. So this is the whole house water filter. It takes water from the city, puts it through a pre-filter, the filter to remove the chloramines and other contaminants, a post-filter to make sure it gets everything, and then a pump to make sure that there's no drop in house pressure as we filter the water. It's also right next to the car charger, so we're trying to make the most use of the space available. So this is our 65-gallon Rheem hybrid water heater, heat pump water heater, and behind me is our heat pump furnace and air conditioning unit. So here we are under the house, and under the house we have this water capture tank which takes water from the sinks and the showers in the upper levels of the house. The water is then captured. It's put through 4 filters, starting with a 50 micron filter, 20 micron filters, 0.35 micron filters, put through a UV filter as well in order to zap anything that goes through those filters, and then it's piped outside of the house.
We have 2 composters because we have almost 20 oak trees on this property. It's a lot of leaves, so sometimes during certain times of the year, these are so full. So what we also do is we have a leaf shredder, and then we put it on top of these beds. We put it on top of all of our potted plants, and we use that as mulch and try to keep as much of the leaf litter on the property as possible. This is our heat pump, and our house, when we bought it, had a traditional gas heating and a regular air conditioner. We actually have a mini split in our bedroom, and I didn't know what it was, and the owner said, well, that's a heat pump. But it wasn't until I started learning more about heat pumps that we decided we wanted to take out the gas system for the rest of the house and replace it. So while we have a mini split in our bedroom, this services the rest of the house, and it's for a ducted system, and it does both heating and cooling. One of the features we were looking for was a pool because I grew up north and I love having a pool. It's not something that is as common in that area. So we wanted to try to be as conservative with the water as possible and energy efficient. So on the right side, you see the solar panels that heat the pool. On the left side of the roof, those are the electric panels for the home. And the thing that's swimming around in the pool is a solar pool skimmer to help with the leaf litter and other debris from the garden. We recently got an electric barbecue in February because we are trying to barbecue in a way that is cleaner. And so this is it, and we have used it, and we have enjoyed it. This path we put in, and it's made with dry stacked rocks and gravel, and there's no mortar in it. So that allows the water to move freely through the ground, and it also allows the ground to shift during the dry season and the wet season. And I'll show you the rest of the path up this way. This path is really wide. You want at least 3 feet, and I think ours might be double that, if not more. But if you have a really wide path, then it helps protect against ticks. They don't like to cross dry areas. And since we have a lot of open space in the back and also on the side of our house, and that tall grass, there are a lot of ticks in that area. And we've actually found that this makes a big difference. But again, it's porous. It's going to allow the water to come through. These are rock walls that we put in. They're all dry stacked, so there's no mortar. You can see that the plants can grow through them. But what that does is, this is a pretty steep hill. So as the water moves through the soil, it is allowed to continue moving. The water can keep moving and doesn't create too much pressure or other problems in the soil. And these are all the oaks that we're collecting leaves from up here. We started using rock because it's fireproof, and we have we're surrounded by all these trees that we like. So every time you put in a feature with rock instead of wood, there's 2 benefits. One, you know that it's fireproof, but 2, we don't have to replace it every 7 to 10 years and the work is done. But the other benefit is we have these California lizards that love this, and as soon as you put in rocks, even if you just have 3 rocks and put them in a little area in your yard, you're going to start attracting these lizards. And these lizards have natural inoculation in their blood against Lyme disease. So if there are ticks around, hopefully they'll get on one of the lizards first, and then by the time if they get down closer to our house, we just don't have to worry about it as much because they're giving them all of this inoculation against the disease. We have lots of little solar lights outside to help us see. They're not too bright, so they just allow us to find our cat if she gets out too late at night or not trip.
So the roof does a lot of work for us. Not only does it hold the panels to heat the pool and the photovoltaic panels to power the house, but also on top of the roof we have fire suppression sprinklers. We have impact sprinklers throughout the length of the house, also with roof sprinklers in case there's a fire. So we're next to open space, and we have this roof protection in case anything embers come over the hill or anything comes from down the mountain. It's all tied into a pressurized system that's hooked into the house water system. And if catastrophe hits, we can also take water from the pool and pump it to the roof in order to keep the house safe.
So I tend to run a little colder than the rest of my family, and so when Jahan was putting the flooring in this room, because I'm in here a lot, he put in the radiant electrical heating in the floor, and the panels right here on the wall. I can set it to whatever I want to set it to, and so this area is just a little bit warmer. It makes it really nice in the mornings to have a warm floor. So these are things that I use mostly in the summertime. This is where I would line dry my clothes, and you can see I've had it a long time because it's pretty rusty, but it still works fabulous, so I keep it, and it's easy to put away during the winter, but I do use it a lot in the summer. And this is my solar oven, which also I use in the summer. The solar oven cooks slower, but for me it's nice because I can start something in the morning and just watch it throughout the day, tilt it a little. It gets up to anywhere between 250, 300 degrees, and we've enjoyed the dinners that we are able to make with it. So thank you so much for coming and visiting our home today. I love older homes, and I think it's worth trying to prepare them for the future. This is the third home that we've owned, and we've done different projects at each one. We found that we are able to do some things depending on the house that we can't do at another. But we do as much as we can because we want to make this a better place for our children.